Hey y'all, it's Katrina with Faith and Loops Crochet. Welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. I like to go over different things that happen in my crochet journey. Today I'm super excited to share with you some pattern tests I done. I went through Instagram and I picked out about 8 Valentine's Day patterns for you. Today I'm going to be talking about the patterns that I went through and some of the things I liked and disliked about the patterns and some things I might change. I do want to thank all of the creators and designers of these patterns. I will have all of it linked down below. It's such a blessing and a nice thing for these designers to offer these free patterns for us to try. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. I really enjoyed a lot of these patterns that I did, and I tried to do them all in Valentine's Day colors. So you're going to be seeing a lot of pink, which happens to be one of my favorite colors anyway, so it worked out really well. So the first one I'm going to go over is this heart cherries pattern. This pattern right here is by of course I lost it on my page. It's about silv.stitches, and this pattern right here took me about 30 minutes to make. And the reason it took about 30 minutes is because you have to do each of the hearts, and then this is a separate piece, and then this is a separate piece, and then you have to sew it all together. Now you have to sew this piece and this piece, and then you have to sew the 2 stems together. I did do this one in Posh, so it's not as big as it could be if you used like Burnett Blanket or Sweet Snuggles or Sweet Snuggles Light. Now, because it did turn out a little bit small and there was so much sewing involved, I'm not sure at this size with this particular yarn that it would be a good market make, but it definitely would make a really good Valentine's Day present. So I highly recommend this pattern. You should give it a try. And even if you're not wanting to do the whole stem and everything, this is a really cute just heart pattern that's pretty quick and easy to work up. So if you're just looking for a heart pattern, this might be the one for you, and you can skip the stems. So, okay, so that was pattern number 1. All right, so pattern number 2 is a cupcake. This pattern right here is a pattern by handmade by Avery. And this pattern right here has a very unique way. I had never done one quite like this. Now the drips and the icing, she did a new technique. She actually has you chain and then come back up, and I think it's a half double crochet and a single crochet back up, but you slip stitch into here so you can actually see that these drips aren't attached, which give it a really, really cool looking texture on it. Now, one of the problems I did have with this is the heart. The heart is actually 2 pieces, and you chain, and then you chain it, and then you chain 1 and then turn, and so you go back and forth, and it's not done in the round. And then you do 2 pieces and then sew it or slip stitch it together. I'm gonna start that over again. Okay, so with this particular pattern right here, this heart is done a little bit different. Honestly, I struggled with it a little bit. It's probably me and not necessarily the pattern designer's layout of it. But you had to chain, and then you turned and worked back and forth. And you had to do that twice. And then you had to single crochet it together. It didn't work out quite well for me. It took me about 30 minutes to do this pattern, but about halfway into the heart, I stopped the timer. So I'm not sure exactly how long, minus the heart, it took me, to be perfectly honest. I think that it would be a lot quicker if I didn't mess up on the heart. Could have been the mood I'm in. You know how sometimes things just don't work out for you? That very well could have been what it was, is just it didn't work out for me. So I don't know if I'll be doing it in the future as far as at least the heart goes. I might try it again. We'll see. But I do think that this is a super cute, even if you don't do the heart cupcake pattern. So I will be linking this below. All right, so now these are super cute, and I have never done anything on a swing before, so this was the first time I've done anything on a swing. So I actually done the heart on the swing, and I think it's just the cutest little thing. Now this pattern right here took me about 15 minutes. Now I'll be completely honest with you, it took me about 15 minutes because I had trouble getting his little butt on there. It does have 2 bobble stitches, and it hangs really, really well. Now this pattern right here is by, of course I have it on the list. This one right here is by Chickinthejungle. And this was actually a 2-for-1 pattern. So you had this one right here, which is the smaller one. And you also had the larger one. And I think they're super cute. Now, the larger one took me about 20 minutes to do. I had a little easier time putting it on the actual swing. I guess I figured it out from one to the other. But I think they're both cute. They're both good sizes. I can just see it hanging on a door or in a vehicle. I think it would make a perfect Valentine's Day present for anybody. So I haven't decided what face I want to put on them yet, exactly how I want to do it. So I've kind of waited on that part because I'm not sure who I'm going to give them to or if I'm going to put them in the market or not. So I wanted to wait to put the faces on them. But I think this pattern is super cute and you should give it a try. All right, so that is 3 patterns down. We still have 5 more to go. So this pattern right here is probably one, let's be honest, you've probably seen it before. I know I've seen it last year. It's the Lovebug. And I had never done one before, but I do think they're super cute. This is the No Sew Lovebug. And this pattern worked up super quick. It took me 20 minutes on the first one, but I'm pretty sure that I could probably get it done a lot quicker the next time I do it, once I kind of figured out the techniques. Now this one actually has 6 bobble stitches at the bottom, which makes it a little bit more buggy-like. So this pattern right here is by celestialcbcrochet, and I'll have it linked down below. This pattern would probably make a really, really good market make because you can make them in so many different colors. And I know it's a heart, but I think you could probably get away with selling it any time of year. Because I think if you changed up the color, which I've seen some of the pictures, it doesn't look so much like a heart. So I think this might be a good, not only Valentine's Day make, but maybe a good spring make too. So I did love this pattern. If you want to try one out, this one would probably be a really good one. It worked up really easily. It wasn't complicated at all. Once you kind of figured out the pattern, it just kind of flew right through. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to the next one. Talking about a pattern that kind of flowed right through. You know, we all love those patterns where you can kind of just sit down and watch TV or listen to a book and you don't really have to think about a whole lot except for like just marking off how many rows you've done. This is the pattern for you. This is the heart snail. Now this is the first one of the fruits or heart snails I had done. I had done a snail a long time ago, which I reviewed in one of my videos well, I didn't review it. It was one of my first makes in one of my videos. That's the only other snail I've done. So this snail was like new to me because I had never done it. I think it's probably similar to the fruit snails if you've done one of those. I haven't done one yet, so I'm thinking that this is probably pretty close. But whenever I talk about like you can just sit down and watch TV and not pay attention, once you get up here, it's just basically just single crochets around. I think it's like 10 or 12 rounds, and then you just decrease and finish off. The only part of it that's stuffed on is right here in the heart. It's a basic heart. So if you've done a heart pattern, you pretty much, they're all kind of the same. They're just a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, worked in two separate pieces. I think he's so cute, or she, whichever you prefer to call it. But it was one of those patterns that once I got the head done, I could just sit there and kind of run through it real quick. This pattern is by Little Bean Crochet 18. It took me 45 minutes. It was one of those ones where you just kind of went around and around and around and around, and it worked up. It seemed like it worked up a lot quicker than what the clock said. So it was one of those very relaxing patterns. And I know that I enjoy those a lot more. Ones that, you know, not always. Sometimes you like different techniques, but this was one that was kind of relaxing to do. And then you have to sew the heart on, which it was a really easy sew because all of your stitches are kind of hidden in here. If you peel it back, you can kind of see it. But for the most part, they're covered up, so it was pretty easy. I would recommend this pattern. I know that I'm probably not going to make it to market with it because my daughter liked it. She actually has, I guess you can call them pet snails. They just sit in the cage and she feeds them. But she does have snails and she does like snails quite a bit. So this might end up going to her for Valentine's Day. Now, talking about another one, my other daughter seen me make this one and she's already claimed it. It's hers. And it is a mini Lovebird. And let me tell you, this thing is itty bitty. Look how little. It is so cute. Now, I worked this up in Posh, and I worked it up in about 10 minutes. This pattern right here is by Hook_Stories. And I was like, oh my goodness. It worked up so quick and so easy. I was like, I have to try this in a different yarn. So I went ahead and went to the biggest yarn I had, which was my Sweet Snuggles Light Regular. And I went ahead and did a big one. Now, I think that they're both super cute and they were super easy makes. They were really, really easy. These are very beginner friendly too. So if you have a loved one in your life that wants to learn how to crochet, I think this would be a really good starting piece for them. And my daughter's already claimed this. I told her I had to keep it for this video. It's already gone. I had to get it from her to even do the video. But I do think that this is a really good market make. It takes 10 minutes to do. This would probably be a really good $5 item. And then I think one in this size would be perfect for one of those little claw machines. And you could even change the little hearts that I have here, or that's in the pattern. You could probably change it up. I'm wondering if you could almost make like a little snowbird and maybe put like a snowflake or something on it, or St. Patrick's Day and do it green. I don't know. I think there's a world of possibilities for this particular pattern, and it's super quick and easy. If you haven't tried it, shoot, 10 minutes, it's worth a try, definitely. So, I'm down to my two favorites. These are my two personal favorites. Now, there's not a consistent favorite in my household, so we're going to go by my favorites. Now, I'm going to start with this one right here, but I'm pretty sure the next one is my favorite, I got to say, out of the ones that I've done. This one right here is super cute, and this is Lovey the Rat. Lovey the Rat has a cute little heart on it and a cute little bow. The tail actually goes into it, and then you create the heart. Now, this pattern is a little bit more sew heavy than what I would like it to be. That's my own personal opinion. I'm not sure if these right here are necessary to sew. and you might be able to get away with a bobble stitch. I did like the rest of the patterns, so I'm thinking I might try to switch them out and see what a popcorn stitch or a bobble stitch might do on this, because I do think it's a cute pattern. The bow worked up super quick and easy, and you sewed that one in, or you just have to sew it on, but it's a real easy sew on. The ears are crocheted in. The nose right here is embroidered. Now, each one of the legs you do have to make individually and sew on. I'm not sure if you could make it a no-sew with these legs. I'm probably going to give it a shot and see what I can do exactly with it to make it maybe a little bit less sew heavy, because it is a cute pattern, and it's one of those ones I would like to see how they do at market. So this one right here took me 45 minutes to do. And based on the size that it came out, I think that's a little bit much. But if you could figure out a way to maybe not make the legs individually, or maybe to have them sew in, it might make it a little bit better. It was a really, really well-written pattern. And the explanation of how to do the tail and to slip stitch it in and then sew it around was very detailed. It was a very well-written pattern. The only suggestion I have for this particular pattern is it tells you exactly what row to put the eyes in, and it tells you exactly how many stitches to put them apart. But it doesn't exactly tell you, and I'm going to give you a little trick that I figured out in making it. It doesn't tell you exactly where the top and the bottom is. But, and this is a free pattern, so I can tell you, there's 6 single crochets down here that flatten it out. Whenever you do the increases and decreases right here, if you make sure that those pieces are on the bottom and you line your eyes up in between, like where they start and where the increases start and end, then you can get the eyes almost in the right place. So that was a little, I guess, a side note, probably a little nitpicky on my part, because I wasn't sure exactly where to put them. I think I did pretty good about picking out where they went. I do love the outcome of this pattern, and I do think it's super cute. So I am going to remake this, but like I said, I'm going to try something different with the legs. So, drum roll please. This one right here is my favorite make out of all the Valentine's Day presents. Now, this one might be because it holds a special place in my heart, and I'll tell you the story here in a little bit. That is Ollie the Otter. I think Ollie is absolutely adorable. The heart and the little nose. I decided not to put any blush on it, but it would look really cute with blush. This tail is sewed in, and the legs are sewed in, and I think the arms are crocheted in. I think the arms are crocheted in. The ears you have to sew on, and the head you have to sew on, and then the heart you have to sew on. So it is a little bit, it's not too so heavy, but I really, really think that the outcome was so cute, and I think it's going to set pretty well on the shelf. So I think that's going to look really cute as a display. Now, my mom, whenever I was a teenager, she actually bought me an otter holding a heart. And because of things events that happened in my life, I actually lost the otter, and I don't know where it's at. It's probably in a landfill somewhere. But the second I saw this pattern pop up on my Instagram feed, I thought about it and I had to make it. So this pattern right here is by Plushy World by Steffi. And thank you so much for this pattern. It did take me back to my childhood when I was a teenager a little bit. And I absolutely love this one. It's one of those ones that I think I'm going to have a little bit of a hard time letting go of, or I'm going to instantly remake it if it does go. I just think it would look so cute holding a fish too. This pattern, I was so shocked that it's a free pattern because it is very well written. I'm excited, and I'm pretty sure that I'm probably going to end up going and buying. She's got a hippo one too. That's holding with the heart pattern. I'm pretty sure because of this free release that I'm probably going to try another one of her patterns because it was very well written. And if you're looking for a little bit bigger item to make as a Valentine's Day present, or if you're looking for a bigger make for a Valentine's Day market, I think this is the one. And it's definitely worth the try. Well, if you've spent the time with me to go over these patterns, thank you so much. I enjoyed working them up and trying them out. I don't have a Valentine's Day market, so these were pretty much ones that I just wanted to share with you all. And, you know, some of them I've been looking at them, like the Lovebug. I've been looking at it for, you know, a year now, and it's like, I really want to try that. I did find some that I think that can be market makes, and I can change a few different things and maybe keep them year round and see how they sell. Well, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I'm going to try to produce at least 2 videos a week this year. So subscribe, and hopefully that we can chat in the comments. And I do hope that you all have a wonderful and blessed day.